Hello everyone. Today we are in another episode of guided neighborhood tours. Today we are in Mellado, and actually we have a house for rent right there, and we wanted to show you this video so that you could get to know the neighborhood. And because this is one, in my opinion, one of the prettiest areas, but less known. So now you will get to know Mellado. And right here we have this little van. I'm almost at the top of the hill, so I'm gonna go down to Centro, to San Clemente. And we have right here, this is the bus stop, and this is one of the little trucks or combis that come up here, and it's really easy to come from Centro to here and to go down in the little combi. So even if this area is a little secluded, so to speak, it is really well connected. And one of the main features in Mellado is the pink church that you can see from anywhere in the city in Guanajuato. You can see this little church, and I'm gonna go back to that church in a second. But I wanted to mention right here you have different little stores like tienditas with the basics, no, as usual, veggies, maybe cream, milk, eggs. So every neighborhood usually has its own little stores, and that makes it easy because if you need something, like, you don't have to go all the way down to Centro. So that's really convenient and very common in the Mexican culture. Right now it's changing because of all the big companies, no, like Oxxos, but in places like here, like Mellado, you don't have an Oxxo, and you rely primarily on local people. Right here in this little pink building is also a bakery, so you can get some sweet bread and bolillo. And I think it's the black door on the left, and it's closed right now. But usually the bakery is right there, and you can buy from him. Okay, so this is another view to the church, and I'm gonna keep going down. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
And okay, so as I was mentioning, Mellado is, I will post in the description of this video, I will leave the Google Maps location so that you can know where is it in reference to the city. And this area connects straight into San Clemente. I already made a video. I'm also gonna link that to this tour so that you can get an idea of how far is it. I think one time I heard some people, okay, this is another store with the basics. They even have Halloween costumes for kids. So I mean, that's funny, no? Like the random items you can find up here. Anyway, so one time I heard that some people were saying that Mellado is a dangerous area, but in reality is not. Okay, so the circulation of the street is you go up this way and then you go down that way by car. Okay, I'm gonna take this side, but I'm gonna show you where that street will connect you, and I'm gonna walk down through here. Anyway, so the rumor that Mellado was a dangerous area, I don't know why people say that, but I want to mention that one of the richest people in well, not one, like some of the richest families in Guanajuato have houses here and they actually live here. Some of them, some others just have property around this area. So in reality, if it was that dangerous, those people would not buy houses here. And especially because when you talk about disparity in Latin America, like poor and dangerous areas are really, really like hardcore dangerous. And the rest is just like middle class that can mix with rich people, no? Especially in Guanajuato. The line is really blurred because you have families that have lived for many, many years or all their lives here in Guanajuato. It's not like new money, it's like old money. And kids went to the same schools as working class families. So Guanajuato that has, well, it used to have, maybe now is growing and changing, but back in the day, everybody went to the same school. There were not private schools. It was just public school and everybody would attend that. It didn't matter if you were super rich or the owner of the mine, or if you were like, maybe, I don't know, like you will pick up trash in the street, your kids went to the same school. And Mellado is one of those neighborhoods that have existed since even the city was founded. So we're talking about a neighborhood that has been around for at least 400 years. And that's very interesting because as you know, or maybe you don't know, and you are researching Guanajuato, but Guanajuato was one of the first settlements of Spaniards because this was a very important location where they found mineral. Okay, so I'm gonna cut my story a little bit. So if you remember, I told you this is how the traffic comes down and this is how you go up. And again, you have more tienditas. At least there's 2 tienditas right here. And as I was mentioning, one more tiendita here. And so Guanajuato has been very famous because the minerals that Spaniards sent back to Europe, one of the biggest locations where they were extracting gold and silver was here. It was Guanajuato. And Mellado was one of the main mines in the city, because this is where they found one of the biggest, how do you call that? Mother lode, or like the vein. So like a huge location where there was tons of mineral. I don't know if you say it like that. In Spanish we say la vena madre, like vein, like where your blood goes through your body. That's the vein, and la vena, and that's where they found, this is where they found one of the biggest ones in Mexico, in central Mexico. So Mellado is an area of a lot of history, and that's really awesome because the church that I show you up there has been one of the oldest ones in the city, and that's pretty special, no? I know I say it a lot and through many neighborhoods, but that's the beauty of living near Centro, that you just get so many history around the city. And sometimes I think as local people we just forget the beauty of living in this city with so much history. But Mellado is one of those locations, and that's why we wanted to show you this area. Right now is pretty much local families, and There's maybe, I think there's like a couple of hotels, but like really small hotels, maybe some Airbnbs, but pretty much, even if this area is so near to Centro, is kind of intact in a way. Like there's not a lot going on, and there's once in a while there's like property for sale, but usually this is not like old houses, but maybe like unfinished houses, or maybe like houses from the, I don't know, like 1950 or something, and now they are selling it, and maybe needs some remodeling, but it has like access to the street and stuff. And here we have more. Actually, this property used to be for sale, and there's like a plot of land, and also I'm gonna show you another property that at some point we had for sale, but now is off the market. And yeah, so rents here are not very common, and I think many people don't know a lot of this area. Okay, so right there's the entrance to the mine, and it's pretty cool because there's still mining activity. And if you keep going straight, you're gonna find Mina de Rayas, I think is the name. I'll check or are correct in the video. But that mine is still working. Like I mentioned, Mellado and Rayas are super connected in the history, because obviously always where there's a mine, there's people who need to live around to work, and that's where Mellado also was born. And Mina de Rayas, you can locate it or you can recognize it when you are in Guanajuato, because it looks like one of these like walls, like if you were watching Game of Thrones, and it's this like massive wall like protecting the city. That's how it looks like. Okay, so now we are below, like going through below Panoramica. I just crossed Panoramica, and I forgot to show you the house that we had for sale back in the day, but it's like where that taxi is, like it's right across the street. But now I'm gonna go down to San Clemente, and this is one of the roads that's through Barrio Nuevo. I'm gonna go through here just because I want to mention another area that is very popular with rentals, and is really quiet, and it's kind of like tucked behind the city and the mountains, and is a really, really nice location, very peaceful, and is where the old haciendas were located. And again, many of these haciendas, or somebody asked me one time, what is an hacienda? It's just like how would I say it? I don't want to say like a ranch, but I will try to look for the definition and post it on the video, because to be honest, I never thought about it. For us, it's just like a word we use a lot, but I'm gonna try to find the real meaning of an hacienda and the origins. Anyways, this is where Hacienda de Luna and Hacienda de Duran are located. And there's, I think I have seen some plots for sale, not really houses. I think there's one big house for sale in this area, and a few rentals like off and on. Many times they are not furnished, and maybe that's why they are not very like popular for people or like foreigners who move here, because many of them just decide to not bring stuff, which is very smart. So I think people who live in this area is not people who are just coming into Guanajuato, but people who maybe know Guanajuato for many years, and they are familiar with the area. We see here the little combi again going up. So I think maybe this video has been 10 minutes that I have been filming. So if you see the buses go up very frequently. I just wanted to show you this little plot here, this entrance. It's like a little gated community, and in the center you have a parking. It's not a parking space like a normal parking space, but like an RV park, and many people come here with their RVs, and they just this is one of the locations. I think there's another one, but that's like out there in the city, like on the road to San Miguel, and this is the most the closest to Centro. So if you have an RV, this might be one of the places. I will post the name in this video. So this area of ex haciendas, like I said, is really near Centro, but in general really quiet. Tons of Mexican families, but also I have seen there's more and more foreigners renting places here. And especially, I think something that happens pretty common is that people who are moving for the first time, they want to live in Centro, and after a while they realize that maybe prices are really expensive. There's a lot of noise, a lot of inconveniences, and when they have friends and they start like getting to know people, and they start through those friends getting to know new areas, that's when they start considering other options. But I have said this before, that's why we have these tours, so that you can like save some time. Okay, so I took the long way, and this is the more direct way. This is where I said is through Barrio Nuevo. Here is another tiendita and like a papeleria where you can buy little office supplies. Right here there's another tiendita, and to go down to Centro is always way easier. Sometimes people ask me like, how far is it from Centro? Well, down probably, I don't know, like 10 minutes. Up, as long as you need to catch your breath. So maybe if you are in like really good shape, it can take you, I don't know, 20 minutes. But if you struggle, like probably I would, and that's why I decided to film down, not up, it's gonna take you more. But the good thing, like I said, is you have those little combis, and you can just catch one at the bottom and then go home in that, like that way. Okay, so this street is the one that will take you to ex Hacienda de Duran. Maybe in another video I can show you. And the other, I think it was ex Hacienda de Lunen. I think it's this area right here, and probably it's more like a gated little community, like a privada. If we have people from Guanajuato, that they are more familiar with the story, you can leave your comments and let us know. But this is where all the ex haciendas were, and up that way, like to the left, is where you would find Cerro del Cuarto. And Cerro del Cuarto is I think there's like a road that will connect you. I think it's right here, but you will have to go like down that way and then up to Cerro del Cuarto. And through that area, I think it can be more a little bit dangerous, and just because it's very secluded and it's through callejones, so I would not recommend to go to Cerro. I mean, it's an amazing shortcut because it saves you a lot of time, but I would go like on the careful side and maybe ask like a local person from this neighborhood if they recommend you to cross through that street. And now we are arriving to San Clemente, and San Clemente is you could say the bottom of this area, and this would be your main street. And I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna stop the video and link the second part of this area, so that way I can show you more about San Clemente. But please keep posted and wait for the second part of this video. Thank you so much.